Hey guys, Deviant here, and today I'm back with another World of Tanks video. Today I'll be covering the Soviet Tier 3 light tank, the BT-7. But before we get into the stats of the tank, I'll be covering the history of the machine. If this doesn't interest you, I'll have annotations below to both the stats and the gameplay. So without further ado, let's look at the history of the BT-7. In the latter portion of the 1920s, the Soviet army began looking into modernizing their fleet of aging tanks. The plan was to find a tank which had the right mix of speed, armor, and firepower. One of the designs that was of note to the Russians was the American M1931 light tank, created by J. Walter Christie. The reason that this tank was of note was for its suspension system, which was called the Christie suspension. The system found fame in Britain, France, and Russia. Between 1930 and 1931, the development of the BT series of light tanks had begun. The first two tanks created were the BT-1 and BT-2. Both of them were a copy of the M1931, however the BT-2 had more Soviet-inspired modifications, which allowed it to become more of a favoured tank. The first BT-2 prototype was created in 1931, and by 1932 it was mass-produced with the 37mm gun. However, due to the shortages of the 37mm, more and more tanks were created only with machine guns. This led to the invention of the BT-5, which utilized the 45mm gun. This pairing gave birth to the BT-7, and in 1935 it came with an improved turret, transmission, armor, and engine. The BT-7 began its service in 1937 under the designation the BT-7/1. The BT-7 was well armed, sporting both a 45mm cannon and a 75mm howitzer. It was also given a 7.62mm machine gun to complement the main armament. The BT-7 served well as a good platform to produce offshoot designs, such as the BT-7A, which was mounted with a short-barreled 76.2mm cannon, which was used to fight off the heavily armored German tanks. This development helped with the development of the famous T-34 medium tank. Another design that was created was the BT-7M, or better known as the BT-8, which was given a 500 horsepower V2 12-cylinder diesel engine in a new hull which improved survivability, and the gun armament was a 7.62mm cannon with two 7.62mm machine guns, one in the turret and one in the improved hull. The BT-7 was used as the main tank for the Soviet invasion of Poland, acting as the spearhead for the Soviet army. However, during the Winter War, the future of the tank was in doubt, with the anti-tank armament fielded by the Finns resulting in a large loss of tanks. And by the time of Operation Barbarossa, the tanks were quickly becoming obsolete. By 1941, large numbers of the BT-7 were either knocked out or were discontinued. However, the tank was revived and last used in the Soviet invasion of Manchuria in 1945 against the Japanese, where they faced little to no resistance. Nearly 5,000 BT-7s were produced by the end of the war. Okay guys, with that all being said and done, let's have a look at the stats of the BT-7 itself. Okay guys, so looking at the stats, the hit points of the BT-7 are 230. The top load limit for the BT-7 with the top tracks is 15 tons. The engine power of the top engine is 480 horsepower, which gives the BT-7 a phenomenal speed of 65.4. That is one of the fastest in the game. The armor, however, is very bad, but that is very historical. 20 at the front for both the hull and turret, 15 at the sides for both the hull and turret, and 13 on the rear of the hull and 15 on the rear of the turret. So comparing the BT-7, the Panzer I, and the M3 Stuart, you will see that the hit points of all three tanks are very similar, with the M3 Stuart having 10 more at 240. The signal ranges are very similar between the M3 Stuart and the BT-7, however the Panzer I has a very high signal range at 700 meters. Looking at the speed limits, the slowest one is the M3 Stuart, however the fastest one at 79 km per hour is of course the Panzer I LFC, with the BT-7 only reaching 65.4, which is still incredibly fast but not the fastest in the game. In reverse, the BT-7 and the M3 Stuart both go at 20Ks, while the Panzer 1 is going at 22Ks. The weight, of course, for the Panzer 1 is at the lowest, so that will allow it to have the highest power to weight ratio, which allows it to just rocket straight off the start, with the BT-7 being the heaviest at 14Ks an hour. So looking at the armor of all three of them, the BT-7 has the weakest armor on both the hull and the turret, with the M3 Stuart going to 38mm on the front of both the hull and the turret, and the Panzer 1 going at 30mm on both the front of the hull and turret. However, the BT-7 does have thicker armor on the side and rear of the turret, and on the side of the hull, well, side and rear of the turret compared to the Panzer 1. So the BT-7 is the weaker armored of all of them. Now, looking at the horsepower, the BT-7 trumps them all with the highest horsepower engine at 480 horsepower, which surprisingly, even though of the greater weight, does give it the highest power to weight ratio of 33.57, with the Panzer 1 being the lightest, only reaching up to 22.58, and the M3 Stuart reaching 27.62 horsepower. The traverse speed, the BT-7 is the most maneuverable at 54 degrees per second, which is blisteringly quick, and the Panzer 1 only reaching 48 degrees, which is once again very, very, very fast. So that all being said and done, we're done with the stats right now. Let's get into some gameplay. This is what we've all been waiting for. Let's have a look at how the BT-7 handles on the field. Okay guys, we are back with a replay. This time we are on the Live Oaks map in our BT-7. We are going up against, this team was pretty good, the enemy. Well, pretty average. And look in chat, Pano75, a bit of a shout out there. Please don't fucking kill me. I love it, everyone's just trolling by going, yeah, okay, no, we won't kill you. And it gets a bit personal between him and the DW2. Right there, a bit of a love thing happening right there. So you know what? I'm thinking to myself, I'm a light tank. I'll do the light tank thing. I'm bottom tier. Let's do a bit of a scout. And then I look down at my minimap, and I have XVM installed, so I can see how far my view range is, which is the blue circle. And I see I don't have much view range, and that's the problem with the BT-7. Is view range is terrible. So unless you have 100% crew, you're not going to have a very good time when it comes to spotting in the BT-7 itself. So, you know what, let's start heading up here. Let's start trying to see if I can actually do some spotting. And I was actually extremely befuddled. I was wondering, seriously? There's some pretty fast tanks on the enemy team, like the T2 Light, the Panzer 3A, the Panzer 2G, Panzer even 1C. Fastest tank in the game, pretty much. Yeah, fastest tank in the game. And it's not here. Where is it? So, you know what, I have a bit of a look around, see nothing. You know what? All no guts, no glory. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to charge it. See what I see there. Now you'll start to see the speed of this 45mm gun. It reloads every 2-point-something seconds. But pretty much every 2 seconds you're going to fire off another shell. If you're able to fire off a shell that fast. So come around the corner, and there's a little friend, Pano75. Puts a couple shots into me, hits my ammo rack. And I go, you know what, fuck that. Let's pull out my repair kit, let's get that ammo rack back up and working. And here's the speed of the 75mm, absolutely putting him to shame. And I kill him. Since it doesn't kill me, I kill him. I think that Death Wagon on our team's not going to be very happy. I just killed his lover. So we start coming up here because I saw someone spotted up here, and it's a Valentine AT. He can only get one shot into me, and that's all he gets. Now, I should have let it aim a bit better, but you know what, I get him. And once again, there is the speed of that 75. I was able to put shot after shot after shot before he was even able to put another one into retaliation. So I'm here looking for the Artie. It's the Stern Panzer 2. There he is. You know what? So the closer you get to Artie, the problem is that they will generally try and shotgun you. Like right there. He could have hit me if I didn't turn. But you know what? I got out of the way, and now I'm just circle strafing him to death. Putting shot after shot after shot into him, and he can't do anything about it. So I start coming around. Knock down that building. See the Panzer 38T over there. Czechoslovakian tank, that one. Put a shot. I hit his tracks, but someone takes him out. See, I start taking fire, and this is where the speed of the BT-7, it's not the fastest, but it's not slow either. And I'm able to get into cover quicker before they can start putting those shots into us. Panzer 38, Panzer 2G coming back. The Panzer 2G's autoloader is very strong. I hit a tree thinking I can knock it down, and I get done in. So I end up with this game with only 3 kills. Quite sad, really. But in this game, you could see the advantages of the BT-7, isn't it? Like, you got the speed. You don't have the armor, as you would have seen a couple times. I was hit a couple times. You don't have the speed. You have the speed. You don't have the armor. But the rapid fire of the 75 is very good. You can put a lot of damage downrange very quickly. I ended up with this game with about 423 damage recorded. And so, right here, I'm spectating this T-28, and I'm thinking to myself, 4 kills. 4 kills. I could possibly try and see if I can platoon with him, and might be able to grab myself a brothers in arms. So, as you guys would have known, in the latest patch, they've added dynamic platooning, where in the middle of a game, you can platoon with someone else in the game and, you know, share rewards and stuff. So, and that's one way you could pretty much abuse it. If you see 2 other people or 1 other person with 3+ kills, platoon with them, and you could grab yourself a Brothers in Arms medal. Which, you know, I've been trying to do, but this dude just doesn't like it, and I'm sitting here going, why am I still watching this bloke? He decides, you know what, I'm going to destroy the scenery. But the T-28, that's a very interesting vehicle. Not much health. It's alright speed, but it's very tall and very easy to hit. So this DW2 doing some weird sort of angling right there. Gets himself a kill. Must be crime because his lover's dead. But the Marder 38T on the enemy team is the last one alive. There he is, full health. Start putting shots into him. The B2 over here is just shooting on the move. Shooting on the move, and he goes down. The DW2 finishes him off. And that is the end of that round. Let's have a look at the post-game stats. Okay guys, now we're here with the post-game stats from that match. So we ended up with 15,000 credits and 1,500 experience. First class mastery badge, the duelist ribbon, and the fire for effects ribbon. It wasn't an amazing match for myself, but it has been the best match I've had in the BT-7 so far. The BT-7, personally, I feel is quite an underwhelming tank in a lot of ways, so I've been struggling quite a lot with it. Let's have a look at the team score. I came in damage, I came 4th in damage, and I came 4th in experience, so pretty average all around. Where did that Pano guy go? Where did he come? He went last at 76 damage. Let's have a look. No, not last, but close enough to last. He didn't do too well, that bloke. I feel sorry for him. Let's have a look at this detailed report. I fired 18 shots, 12 of them hit, and 11 penetrated. Once again, 423 damage done. I received 22 hits, 15 of them penetrated, 7 bounced or non-penetrated. 60 damage was blocked by my armor. So 60 damage was blocked by 20mm to 15mm of armor, which is pretty cool. I spotted 4 enemy tanks, and of the 4 that I spotted, 3 were destroyed. Damage due to player assistance, 133. So let's have a look at here. See, the resupply is very, very, very cheap. It's cheap as chips, really. 252 to resupply 18 shots. That's very cheap. So that means you always come off, even without a premium account, you'll always come off with a lot of credits and a lot of experience. And because this is my 2 times, that's why I earned so much experience from this match. So guys, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys learnt something from this video, and I hope you guys can take something away from it. I will be putting up another video very soon. It's going to probably be a PSA kind of video. I'm going to be talking about the matchmaking in the game, because I've seen that's a very big problem with a lot of people. So stay tuned for that, and if you love the video, please like it, and if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.